Far in this whole journey was probably my most challenging year. I want to say it was my toughest year. It was a really tough account. I feel like it almost broke me. Glory be to God, I'm still here. It all hinges on passing this exam. It literally changes your career trajectory. Hi everyone, I am Sharon and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I make videos about accounting and my accounting career journey. And so I just recently hit a 10-year milestone in public accounting, and I wanted to just make a video reflecting on that journey and what that journey has been like for me. And so that's what I did here. I went through like my staff, senior manager years, and just highlighted things that I thought were helpful, and then I summarized at the end like things I felt like helped me during this journey. So if that's something you're definitely interested in, please stick around and watch till the end. And if this video was helpful, please like the video. And if you want to see more content like this, definitely subscribe for more. Get into it. I want to start with staff. So yeah, I started as a staff in 2013 and I spent 2 years in the staff rank. So I remember my staff years being very new, right? I didn't know what I was doing. But one thing I do remember is that I invested the time at that stage in like learning. So like if there was something I didn't understand, I would go back and like teach myself. I remember also that time I took time to like I was actually watching YouTube videos about like income tax accounting, because that's the area that I thought I wanted to like specialize in, which is where I ended up specializing right now, like corporate tax and income tax accounting. But anyway, yeah, I remember like watching YouTube videos about income tax accounting just so I could be more knowledgeable about the technical concepts, so that when I get on those engagements, I could do relatively well. I did during my staff years. So I was single, I was not married, I did not have a child. So I was just ready to work. Like I did not make any, I remember work-life balance was something that did not even occur. Like it not even occurred to me as a staff, because I was just like, I just want to work. And also I think what contributed to that was that I had a really long commute. And so I would prefer to just like stay in the office than like sit in traffic. So like I was willing to work. I would attend a ton of happy hours. I would socialize a ton. So I would just really immerse in myself and like the environment. I really took the time to like meet people. Like any happy hour that was available, I would stay. And I was very involved with like affinity groups. During that time, I made a lot of friends, not just in my service line, but outside my service line as well. So I had great relationships with people that I enjoyed being in the office, and I enjoyed like going to work. So it was fun. I remember that those years being like fun and immersive. If I would describe those years, I'll say fun and engaged. So fun and engaged. Some of the things I did, no work-life balance was like a no work-life balance. I would just work. I prioritize my learning. Some of the weekends I would watch those YouTube videos. I would read the income tax accounting guide. I would just study just to do better. Yeah, happy hour. I attended a ton. Socializing. I think they're now called like business resource groups. I was also very involved in like all these like business resource groups. So I tried to like stay active, because those were like good ways to like meet people. So I think my staff years, I was really highly focused on learning, meeting people, and immersing myself in the culture. That's what I would say. And then after 2 years, I got promoted to senior. I was so excited. Because this was my very first promotion in public accounting. I have a funny picture, and if I find it and I'm not so embarrassed, I will put it up. So I went to the University of Maryland for college, and when you're a senior at the University of Maryland, you get a pin that says "Kiss me, I'm a senior." And so obviously I was just 2 years out of college, so I still had the pin. And so when I got promoted to senior, I literally wore that pin to the office. Can you imagine? It's like so cringe. Like thinking about it now, it's so cringe. But that's to say, I was so excited about being promoted to senior. I was just like, this was my first milestone. This was my first accomplishment that shows that I'm progressing in my career. And so I was just like loving life. I was loving like accounting. I was loving my CPA. Like I was loving, oh, I forgot to say, in my staff years, obviously I had also passed my CPA. I forgot to mention that, but we'll go back to that shortly. Yeah, I definitely passed my CPA exam before any of this. Like, so when I graduated, I should have started with that earlier. So when I graduated, I took 4 months before, which is the premise of this channel actually. It started with me sharing my CPA, like how I studied and passed the exam. But yeah, I definitely took the exam before I started working. And I think that helped a lot in like shaping my staff experiences, right? Because I didn't have the burden of the CPA exam looming behind my head. I could really like immerse myself in work. I could really immerse myself in like the culture. I could really stay for the happy hours. I could socialize. Like I didn't have like the burden of, oh, I need to go back home and study. I need to like hurry and study. Like that burden was non-existent for me. So when I started full time, and again, I was single, not dating, childless, like, so I was just focused on me. So I had all the time to just like pour myself into work. Oh, and also what I wanted to mention here is I was also heavily involved in UMD recruiting. Back to the promotion. So yeah, I was promoted. I was so excited about being promoted. I was really enjoying the whole public accounting journey. I felt great about like my first promotion. I was just loving it. And over this 2 years, I've been, like I said, I was involved with like business resource groups, so like the affinity groups. I was also heavily involved in like recruiting at my alma mater, which is the University of Maryland. So during that time, I would meet with students who were interested in joining like public accounting or were interviewing for roles in public accounting. And some of the questions that I would typically get revolve around the CPA, studying for the CPA, passing the CPA exam. And I would obviously share my experience on how I passed it, how I planned my time, and how I was able to get it out of the way before I started working. Moving on to senior year. So senior year, because of how much I was enjoying like public accounting. So I guess to preface this, before I joined or before I interviewed with the firm I currently work for, I was so nervous about interviewing with public accounting because, like one of the big four, because I just always heard like really negative experiences. And I was just like, I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I should start with a smaller firm and just like stay smaller. Like I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my career until I really like met people. I talked to people at the big four. I connected with people and then I was like, well, I'll just give it a shot. I met some people who like shared really positive stories about the experiences. And so based on that, I was willing to at least interview and give it a shot. And so that's how I ended up like interning and then starting full time. So anyway, so I'm now a senior and I'm just like, I'm loving this. This is wonderful. This is great. This is an amazing experience. I'm enjoying my time. I'm making a ton of friends. I'm learning. I'm going to all these happy hours. I'm traveling for work. Like it's just fun. And so that's what inspired me to like volunteer with the AICPA. It was my senior year that I applied. I volunteered with the AICPA. I did this for, I want to say, a good 4 or 5 years. Honestly, I volunteered. So I volunteered for a few years, and then eventually I rose through like the committee and was like chair of the committee for like a year or two. But I started during my senior year because of how much I enjoyed the work, how much I enjoyed the experience. I was like, I want to like share this with people, more people, not just like UMD students. I want to like go to different schools and like talk about my experiences and like just help with more of like the recruiting pipeline for CPAs. And so that's why I volunteered. So with the AICPA, I served on a committee called the Student Recruitment Committee. So that committee was focused on thinking through ways to attract students to accounting and help with like retaining them in the accounting profession. So that was really the purpose and the goal. And so as part of that role, I would like whenever schools, like even high school, some college campuses needed speakers to show up to an accounting class and talk about like CPA, I would like we coordinate as a committee, and then some people would go out and do all of these presentations. So I did that for a few years, and it was also during this year that I started my YouTube channel. Because when I was meeting a ton of students, right, a lot of people asked me about like my CPA journey, like how I passed the exam, how I studied, what my experience in public accounting was. And I was like, I know for a fact that I'm never going to like reach as many people, like just literally by myself on campus. But like if I made videos, then maybe they could just live on my channel and I could point people to those videos, and people could definitely like go back and reference it later. So that's how I started the channel. I started the channel with the intention of just being able to record and share videos with people who were interested in accounting, so that way like we could reach more people. So it was also during this time, because I was heavily involved with the AICPA and doing all this work, it was during this time that they reached out and asked to come into my office and like do a recording, a video of a day in the life for me. And obviously I was thrilled, I was excited, get permission from like the partners I work for, like the office, you know, all of this like media, this definitely, all the firms have like a media guideline. So because I also had really good relationships with the people I worked for, it was easy for me to talk to someone and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the AICP wants to do a video of me in the office. Is that okay? So that happened then. I thought that was a really cool experience. I definitely enjoyed that as well. And it was also during this time that I obviously made a ton of connections. I made a ton of connections with people who were serving in the committee with me and who were also like AICPA full-time employees who were helping manage the committee, but also other professionals who were at different levels of their career who were also serving in the committee as well. So I made those connections, which was incredible. And it was also during this time I met someone through the AICPA who connected me with someone else, and that landed me my first teaching gig. So when I was a manager, I did like a short stint as an adjunct professor at a community college, and it was through the AICPA that I met someone who introduced me to someone else who helped me get the gig. And so I guess backstory on this a little bit. So throughout my journey here, I've also been involved with like teaching, coaching my staff, and things like that. And one thing I knew, and because I was focused also on teaching myself, I realized how much I really enjoyed like the technical concept of accounting. I found it to be very enjoyable. I really enjoyed like teaching it. And so I wanted to explore what it would look like if I also worked full-time and taught at a college. And so that's why I was very interested in getting this adjunct professor role. And so when I did get it, it was fun. It was really cool. But manager year, I would say so far in this whole journey, was probably my most challenging year. And so I couldn't do this for too long. I only did it for like a year, I think, probably like 2 semesters. So I couldn't balance it all. I enjoyed my current role and I really wanted to prioritize it. And so this had to go. So I did this for a year and then I stopped. Again, I was still involved with the AICPA here. I did adjunct professor role for like a year. But like I was saying, yeah, managing was, I want to say it was my toughest year, because it was the year where now you're now managing down and managing up, and also relationships with your clients. And so there was just a lot on my plate then. I just remember working on a really tough account. A really tough account that I feel like it almost broke me. That's how I would put it. But glory be to God, I'm still here. Glory be to God, I'm still here. But yeah, it was really tough, and oh God. But one thing I remember is I just remember the team really like coming together, working well together, and just remember like everyone rallying around to help me when it was just a mess. But we made it. I feel like in any career you have those tough times, right? And it's just a matter of just gaining like some kind of perspective and asking yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What can I take away from this situation? And so even when I look back to that experience, despite it being so hard and being so like painful, Like I can definitely pinpoint things that I learned that have helped me in the rest of my career and the rest of my journey. So it wasn't all bad, that's what I want to say. But anyway, so I spent 2 years as staff, 3 years as a senior, and then I spent 3 years as a manager, and then I got promoted to senior manager. So which is where I am currently. So this is my current rank. I'm currently in senior manager rank. I've been here for about 2 years. I've been a senior manager for 2 years now. And so it's fun, it's exciting. There's definitely different pressure points, different expectations than all of these ranks combined. And so I'm really excited and looking forward to where my career goes and where my career takes me from here. But I really wanted to just sit down and think through like my journey and think through like all the things I did along the way and what helped me get here. So now that we have the full picture, definitely something that encompasses all of these ranks is that I was getting really cool experiences. I was working on really challenging, like technically challenging accounts. I was learning a ton. I was working with really cool people who supported my career. And these are just like other things I was doing in addition to my client service, obviously. So yeah, definitely serving my clients was my number one priority. But yeah, I feel like when I look back on my career, I think about it as a very, very well-rounded, enriching experience. Like I had a ton of like really cool client opportunities. I've had a ton of like really cool opportunities to like work in accounting in like different capacities, like the AICPA, like as an adjunct professor with like UMD recruiting, going to NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants. I would attend the conferences as well, meet really cool people across like the offices and across the US, like at different firms and things like that. Cool accounting professionals. I think about my journey really fondly because I think it's been great. I mean, it's been wonderful for sure. And I want to be clear, that doesn't mean like every day has been wonderful. But when I think about the big picture, when I think about the fuller experience, it's been really cool. And I can definitely think back and see how I've grown as a professional, all the things that I've learned and things that I learned at work that really has helped me even in my personal life. And maybe that's a different video I'll make. I'll make a video about skills that I've been able to pick up in the 10-year period working full-time in public accounting. I think that'll be a cool video. So if that's something you definitely want to see or watch, definitely stick around, subscribe, and come back. Now that we have a layout of the land of what my journey over the past 10 years was like, if I were to summarize like key points about things that I feel like helped me on this journey, I would definitely start with the number one. I would say passing my CPA is definitely number one. Like passing my CPA really freed up my time and freed up my focus to focus on like my career and focus on like applying myself and giving my career like all of my time is what I would say. So I would say definitely that was the most important piece. And alongside with passing my CPA, I would just say being organized. Like for example, with my CPA, I had a clear plan of how I wanted to study, when I wanted to study, and at what point I wanted to take the exam and be done before I started working full time. So that organization skill with the CPA really translated as I started working full time. I'm a very organized person, if I do say so myself. But no, I think that I do a really great job with like planning out my engagements, planning out my career, setting goals that I want for myself in terms of my career and career trajectory. And I think that has also helped. I have like with each rank, I would say also, when I went through each rank, I also went into each rank with an expectation for myself of what I wanted to accomplish in those ranks, like things I wanted to do, the skills I wanted to learn, the relationships I wanted to cultivate, and things I wanted to achieve. So I did that for each rank, and then I would review like my goals as I went along. So I think that definitely helped with my career. And then I would say also the next thing I would say that has helped me is learning. The next thing I would say that has helped me in my journey is being intentional about my learning and about my development. So like I said, like during my staff years and all throughout my career, I have been absolutely like laser focused on developing myself, be it from a technical perspective and also from a soft skills perspective. So I spend the time outside of work teaching myself, learning, researching. So if, for example, I'm working on an engagement and there's a concept that I don't understand, I don't just stop there and just not understand it. I take the time to teach myself, to learn, to research, to just get better at my job from a technical perspective. Because at the end of the day, we sell knowledge, right? And so I want to be good at what I'm selling. So being absolutely intentional about my learning, I think that has played a significant role. And so the other thing I would say is being focused on my service and how I serve, being focused on my service. Yeah, so I would say that I throughout my career I have been also laser focused on providing the best possible service to the people that I work for, the people that work with me, and to the clients that I serve. Because at the end of the day, people want to work with people that they like, and that's the simple end story. So, and if you think about your experiences as well, like you don't visit establishments that are mean and rude and don't provide you with good service. You prefer to spend your money where people are nice and good and provide you with excellent service. And so I approach my career with intentionality around how I work with people, how I team with my teams, and how I serve like people above me, how I serve my clients, and how I work with my teams as well. Just making sure that I'm being very considerate, I have a good attitude, I treat people well, I am intentional about building those relationships, and I make the work enjoyable for everyone because no one wants to work with someone who's mean and doesn't treat them well. Yeah, so that has been absolutely focused on my service has been great. I definitely think that has definitely played a role in my career trajectory for sure. The other thing I would say is having, and this probably should have been number one, but it's not like this is not in the order of importance. I'm just like trying to like list my points when I think through. I would say it's having great support, mentors, relationships. I think this is absolutely key. Absolutely key. Like when I think back through my entire career, like if I were to pinpoint one thing that has made a significant difference, I would say it's the people who have been rooting for me and getting me the right experiences and allowing me to do things that would help my career. So say for example, hey, I want to try this engagement, I want to like learn this, and I talk to someone and they figure out a way to get that for me. Or hey, I want to like serve on the AICPA committee for like a few years, and the AICPA wants to come into the office and record me. Like it's people who I work for that made that happen. And I've just had tremendous support from people who have really looked out for me in my career, who have really supported me, who have given me the right experiences, who have given me the right amount of coaching. And I think that also boils down to like the way you serve people, right? People want to support people who they know support them. You know what I mean? So like in my intentionality, when I'm focused on the way I serve my clients and the way I serve the partners and the teams that I work for, like they know that I prioritize their work. They know that I do a good job with their work. So of course they want to help me, right? Because like it's a cycle. But no, for sure. I think because I do a good job with my work and my service, it really helped me forge those relationships with people who want to invest in me, who want to help me succeed, who want to help me do well with my career. And it all kind of syncs together. Because I passed my exam, I was able to spend my time learning, spend my time focused on my service. And because I was able to spend my time doing these two things, I was able to build relationships that helped me in my career. So yeah, for sure. I would say if I were to boil down or like summarize like key things that I would say helped me, and the last but not the least, actually, I would say just being open. being open, flexible, right attitude. Yeah, definitely. I want to put this one in there as well. Yeah, being open, saying yes. Saying yes. I guess that could relate to passing my CPA because I passed my CPA, I was able to say yes and be open and be flexible. Long story short, it all hinges on passing the exam. Who would have thought? That's what I've been preaching on this channel. It all hinges on passing this exam. It literally changes your career trajectory. I am not kidding. Everything hinges on passing the exam. Everything in your career hinges on passing the CPA. I'm not even kidding. But anyway, no, thinking through the whole picture, I really do think it hinges on passing the exam, truly, because I feel that because I passed the exam, I was able to really apply myself at work. I was able to just say yes. I was able to have the right attitude because I felt confident in myself that, oh, I already passed the exam. Of course, I know what I'm doing, right? I was able to invest my time in learning. I was able to be focused on my service. I was able to build relationship outside of like my core service line and also build relationships with people that I worked with. And so when you have friends at work, it just makes things more fun. So yeah, if I were to summarize, this is how I would summarize it. I would say definitely passing my CPA exam helped. Focusing on my learning definitely has helped a lot. Focusing on my service, great relationships, great support, building those relationships has definitely helped a lot. And also being open and flexible and just having the right attitude at work, saying yes, just being optimistic about the experience, being willing to learn. I would say definitely all have played a role in my success for sure. So I hope this video was helpful. It really was just like, it's really, again, like I said, it really was a point for me to just reflect on my journey with the hope that it's helpful to just kind of shed light on what a career journey with one firm in public accounting, one of the big four, could look like in a 10-year span, right? And this is what it looked like for me. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been fun. I'm still learning even up until this point in my career. I'm still learning a lot. I still have really great relationships with the people that I work for. I look forward to the work that I do. I'm just really excited for what the future holds. I hope this video was helpful. And I want you to listen to this journey. If there's anything you think I missed in like my key points, definitely leave it as a comment. If you think there's something I missed that you think helped me in my career, definitely leave it as a comment. But that's it. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.